Yu-jin arrives at the cafe 3 minutes early, which is unusual for her. She's the type who calculates her commute down to the minute, arriving with just enough time to seem effortless. But today her feet carried her faster than intended, and now she sits at a corner table near the window, her fingers drumming an uneven rhythm against her coffee cup. The cafe is one of those Hanamdong places with exposed brick and Edison bulbs hanging from black cords. A folk song plays through hidden speakers, honey slow and melancholic. The espresso machine hisses and groans behind the counter, punctuating conversations with bursts of steam. She checks her phone. 2:47. Min-woo is due at 2:50. This is ridiculous. It's not a real date. It's a practice session, the capstone of Lesson 1, First Impressions. They've covered wardrobe, grooming, body language. Today is about putting it all together. That's all. So why does her stomach feel like it's performing gymnastics? Yu-jin takes a sip of her latte, too hot still, scalding the roof of her mouth. She sets it down with more force than intended, the cup clattering against the saucer. Through the window, Hanamdong on a Sunday afternoon is a parade of carefully curated lives. Young couples walk hand in hand, their steps synchronized. A woman in yoga clothes carries a green smoothie, her face flushed with the virtue of exercise. And then she sees him. Min-woo is half a block away, visible through the window, and he's walking differently. Not the usual rushed, apologetic stride. His shoulders are back, his head up. He's wearing the blue Henley from last week's shopping trip and dark jeans that actually fit. His hair is styled, just enough texture to look intentional without trying too hard. He looks good, really good. The realization sends something skittering through Yu-jin's chest, a sensation she doesn't want to examine too closely. She watches him pause at the cafe entrance, his hand on the door, and even from here, she can see him take a breath, steadying himself. Then he's inside, and the cafe shrinks somehow, the space between them collapsing. His eyes find hers immediately. Good, she thinks. He remembered the eye contact lesson, and there's a smile on his face that looks almost natural. Hi, he says when he reaches the table. His voice is steady, warm. Sorry I'm late. Yu-jin glances at her phone. You're exactly on time. Oh. He laughs, a short exhale through his nose. I've been circling the block for 5 minutes. Didn't want to seem too eager. The honesty catches her off guard. Most men she knows would pretend they'd just arrived, would never admit to the calculation. But Min-woo just stands there, owning his nervousness, and somehow it's endearing rather than awkward. You can sit down, Yu-jin says, and immediately regrets the teasing edge in her voice. This is supposed to be educational, supportive, but Min-woo's smile doesn't falter. He pulls out the chair across from her, not too fast, not hesitant, and settles into it with that new posture they've been working on. Open, present, claiming space. How am I doing so far, he asks. First impressions? Yu-jin pretends to consider, tilting her head as if assessing. In truth, she's trying to reconcile this version of Min-woo with the one who approached her 3 weeks ago, all hunched shoulders and stammering requests. The transformation isn't complete. There's still tension in his jaw, still that slight adjustment of his glasses that betrays nerves, but it's significant. You look good, she says finally, and watches color bloom across his cheekbones. The outfit works. The hair is good, and you walked in like you belonged here instead of apologizing for existing. I practiced, he admits. Walked from the subway to here 3 times yesterday, trying to get the posture right. Something warm unfurls in Yu-jin's chest, a tenderness she wasn't expecting. He practices walking. Of course he does. She's given him feedback, and he's taken it seriously, applying the same methodical approach he uses for everything. You want to order something? She asks, gesturing toward the counter. Min-woo glances back. The line is 4 people deep now. Should I? Or is that breaking the practice date? It's your call. What would you do on a real date? He considers this with visible concentration, like it's a complex business problem. I'd probably offer to get you something, but you already have coffee, so maybe I'd just order for myself? Or would that seem rude? Min-woo. Yu-jin leans forward, lowering her voice. The folk song has shifted to something more upbeat, acoustic guitar and gentle percussion. There's no perfect answer. Dating isn't a test with a rubric. It's just 2 people spending time together. But there are wrong answers. Things that put people off. Sure, but overthinking every micro decision is one of those things. She softens her tone. seeing the frustration flicker across his face. Go with your instinct. What do you want to do? Min-woo looks at her for a long moment, and Yu-jin feels that gaze like pressure against her skin. Then he stands. I'm going to get an Americano. I'll be right back. He moves toward the counter with that new confidence, and Yu-jin watches despite herself. She watches him stand in line, hands in pockets but shoulders still open. Watches him smile at the barista, a young woman with a nose ring who smiles back, warmly, and Yu-jin feels a strange twist in her stomach that might be pride or might be something else entirely. When he returns, he's carrying his cup and a small plate with a single Madeline, golden and perfect. They were out of the chocolate once, he says, setting the plate between them. But I thought we could share anyway. It's such a small gesture, thoughtful without being showy. The kind of thing that says I'm thinking about you without demanding acknowledgement. Yu-jin picks up the Madeline, breaks off half, and hands him the larger piece. See, she says. Natural. Min-woo takes a bite, and there's powdered sugar on his lip that he wipes away self-consciously. This doesn't feel natural. It feels like I'm playing a part. That's because you're conscious of it. The more you practice, the less you'll have to think about it. Yu-jin eats her half of the Madeline, butter and almond and lemon, dissolving on her tongue. Tell me something. Why did you really want to learn this? The question has been percolating since he first approached her. His explanation about the reunion made sense, but there's always been something else underneath. Min-woo is quiet, his fingers wrapped around his cup. The espresso machine hisses, and someone's laughter rings out from across the cafe. I'm tired of being alone, he says finally, and the simplicity of it lands heavy between them. Not just dateless. Alone. I have colleagues, family, but I don't have someone who's mine. Someone I can call at the end of a terrible day. Someone who knows how I take my coffee. He looks up, meeting her eyes. Does that make sense? Yu-jin's throat feels tight. She thinks about her own apartment, silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. About eating convenience store kimbap at midnight. About waking up to nothing but her alarm. Yes, she says quietly. It makes sense. Something shifts between them. The cafe continues around them. Conversations, laughter, the gentle clink of cups. But their table feels separate. Min-woo is looking at her with an openness that makes her want to look away, makes her want to stay exactly where she is. Can I ask you something? He says. That's what we're here for. Not about dating. About you. He hesitates. Why did you agree to help me? Really? Yu-jin considers deflecting. She's good at that. But Min-woo has been honest with her, and the least she can do is reciprocate. Because I wanted to believe it could work, she says slowly, working it out as she speaks. That someone could learn this. That it's not some mysterious thing you either have or don't. She traces the rim of her cup. And maybe because teaching you helps me avoid my own mess. Min-woo tilts his head slightly. What mess? The kind where I'm good at dating, but terrible at relationships. Where I can't let anyone close enough to matter. The words come easier than expected, like a pressure valve releasing. You're not the only one who's lonely, Min-woo. You're just more honest about it. The confession hangs between them, unexpected and naked. Yu-jin feels exposed, wishes she could take it back, wishes she didn't feel this strange relief. Then maybe, Min-woo says softly, we can figure it out together. Yu-jin's breath catches. Outside, the afternoon sun slants golden through the window, catching dust motes in its beam. Inside, the cafe hums with life, with other people's stories, with the ordinary magic of a Sunday afternoon. And at their corner table, something unnamed begins to take shape. Something that feels less like a lesson and more like a beginning.